It seems that the President of South Korea has been rescued after issuing martial law that caused national turmoil. However, it appears that his wife, the First Lady, has yet to escape allegations of corruption. As you may know, the President of South Korea unexpectedly declared martial law, something that hasn't happened in 60 years. Yet, even more surprising, was that the martial law he declared was annulled by the National Assembly before it could even take effect. Even though the President had the military take control of the National Assembly building, a certain Lieutenant General defied orders and allowed the legislators inside to vote against the President. In the end, this martial law attempt turned into a laughingstock. Shortly after, the President was proposed for impeachment by the National Assembly. However, it seems that he had already anticipated this scenario. Leading a country isn't so simple as being easily impeached. Every move they make is carefully calculated many steps ahead. Specifically, the National Assembly organized an impeachment against the President. Yet the Constitution stipulates that the vote must achieve a certain proportion of legislators to succeed. In South Korea, to impeach the President, 2/3 of the total members of the National Assembly must vote in favor. With 300 members in the Assembly, over 200 votes are required. But as planned, the President's party, the People Power Party, holds 108 seats. Thus, even if the National Assembly votes against the President, these 108 members certainly wouldn't do so, making it impossible to reach the 200-vote threshold required for impeachment. This is a basic principle the President must have calculated beforehand. Although some legislators from the People Power Party protested against the declaration of martial law, voting to annul the measure, their opposition to martial law doesn't necessarily equate to supporting the President's impeachment. These two issues are entirely different. Opposing martial law may be a matter of principle, but impeaching a member of their own party, especially the ruling party, would mean handing over power to another party. Both honor and power considerations prevent ruling party legislators from acting in such a manner. Therefore, impeachment against the President was never feasible. In this case, the most unfortunate figure remains the Minister of Defense, who had only recently assumed office. Having followed the President's orders, he is now detained for investigation. According to Korean news outlets, prosecutors officially arrested former Defense Minister Kim Dong-hyun as part of an investigation into allegations related to the President's declaration of martial law. Kim arrived at the Seoul prosecutor's office and pledged full cooperation with the investigation. Prosecutors stated they had sufficient grounds to urgently arrest the former Minister Kim on charges of inciting rebellion and expressed concerns about potential evidence tampering. Prosecutors confiscated Kim's phone and transferred him to a detention center in eastern Seoul. Kim submitted his resignation the day after martial law was declared, which was promptly accepted by the President. At the time, Kim announced he would take full responsibility for all related matters and stated that troops executing the martial law measures were merely following his orders. Life is indeed unpredictable. From serving as the Minister of Defense for one of the most modern and powerful militaries in the world to suddenly becoming a prisoner in jail. However, even though the defense minister has been arrested and the President has escaped impeachment, the President's life remains far from peaceful. His wife, the First Lady of South Korea, now faces accusations of corruption. The South Korean National Assembly, controlled by opposition parties, passed resolutions to impeach the chief auditor and 3 senior prosecutors involved in investigations regarding the relocation of the presidential office and First Lady, Kim Keon-hee. These 3 prosecutors were accused of failing to prosecute the First Lady after investigating allegations that she was involved in a stock price manipulation scheme. A special bill related to the investigation of First Lady Kim had been proposed months ago by opposition parties. The Democratic Party, the main opposition party, unilaterally passed a controversial bill demanding a special investigation into the First Lady, despite strong objections from the President's party. The amended Special Investigation Bill was passed by the Democratic Party with 191 votes in favor and none against. It focuses on two major accusations. One, the First Lady's involvement in a stock price manipulation scheme and interference in candidate nominations through a power broker. Two, allegations that she manipulated stock prices of an auto dealership in South Korea between 2009 and 2012 and unlawfully received luxury gifts. To date, the First Lady of South Korea has faced 3 motions for impeachment and investigation by the National Assembly. Yet each time, opposition parties in the Assembly were unable to proceed, as the President's party holds over 33% of the seats, rejecting all proposed bills. What's extraordinary is that even the leader of the People Power Party criticized the First Lady. After maintaining an uneasy relationship with the presidential office for some time, it marked the first instance in South Korean history where the head of the ruling party publicly targeted the First Lady. How could a subordinate of the president criticize his wife? Hence, even though opposition parties can't do anything to the First Lady, she remains a significant liability for the president himself. The leader of the People Power Party stated that many believe the First Lady's personal aides operate within the presidential office without contributing to the government. Such informal practices by the First Lady are deemed unnecessary for the nation. There have been reports that the First Lady's personal aides exerted significant influence on national matters. The presence of her close friends within the presidential office is considered a ticking time bomb. Previous First Ladies also exercised their influence, but unlike Kim, when 3 senior officials in the presidential office, including the Director of National Security, were replaced under suspicious circumstances this past March, political experts attributed this to the First Lady's influence. The First Lady has become a major liability for President Yoon's administration. In a Real Meter poll, the president's approval rating dropped to a mere 25.8%, the lowest in their survey history. With over half of his term remaining, the president cannot govern the country smoothly if his approval ratings continue to fall below 20%. In general, as a wife, I hope First Ladies focus on taking good care of their families and children. Unless they are exceptionally capable and officially appointed by the nation, they should refrain from meddling in national affairs. Simply creating a warm family environment so that when their husbands return home tired from work, they have a place to relax and regain energy to handle work and national responsibilities would suffice.
If you find this video helpful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any content.